Hello guys, on this video we will continue learning Python, the basics of Python. So in the last classes we have learned how to print on the screen, we have learned how to use strings and how to use some methods. On this video we will start to use numbers as a variable and identify which kinds of numbers we have used in Python. We will learn how to use integers and float types and what's the difference between these two kinds of numbers. Also, in this video, we will learn how to put comments in our code. Comments are useful to explain and to give details about your logic. It's the way that the developers use to write some free text in the code. Please don't forget to subscribe on the channel and let's start our lesson. The next type of variables that we will work, it will be the numbers. In programming languages, the numbers can be represented by different types. Let's first look at how Python manages integers, the most simple to work with. In this topic, let's use the Python terminal. So in your command line, type Python, and you will see the Python shell where you can use directly Python commands, like the print, for example. Using integers, you can add, multiply, divide, and power. If you want to power, you need to use two asterisks. For example, 2 power 3, the result will be 8. The basic operations. As you have learned at school, the operation has the same priority in the calculation. Let's try. 2 plus 3 times 4. The multiply will be the first operation and later the add. And you can use parentheses. In this case, the add will be the first operation. Besides the integers, Python calls any number with a decimal point a float. Simple, enter the numbers you want to use and Python will most likely do what you expect. Some examples. 0.1 plus 0.1. 0.2 times 2. 0.2 plus 0.1. 3 times 0.1. Look, 6 divided by 2. The result is 3.0. It means, in case of Python, the division between two integers will result a float number. Pay attention, because in case of Java, if you will do a division by two integers, the result will be an integer. But in case of Python, it's a float number. It's decimal point number. Pay attention to the last operations. Python tries to find a way to represent the result as precisely as possible. 0.2 plus 0.1, it's 0.3. Please ignore the whole decimal representation here. And you can mix integers and float, but the result will be a float. Some tests. 2 multiply 1.0, it will be a float 2.0. 3 power 2 will be 9.0, a decimal point, a float number. And finally, in case of Python 3.6, you can use the underscore to separate digits in any place. Let's try. Universe age. I have this big number. Let's print. You can use underscore to keep more easy to read a number in Python. Let's try to implement a program where I will print my name and my age. Let's go to the Sublime. Create a new file. Let's save as name and age file and create the name variable, age variable. It's a number. And let's print the name and the age. Save and Ctrl B to execute. You can change your program and initialize your variables on the same line. This is called as a multiple assignment. In this case, you declare your variables separated by commas and the values separated by commas too. Let's remove the line 2. And in the same line, I have name and age, and I'm giving values to name as João Vale and to age, the number 30, in the same line. Again, this is a multiple assignment. If you save and run, you will have the same result. You can create and give in values two variables in Python using one line. In Python, we don't have constants like other languages. A constant is like a variable whose value stays the same throughout the life of your program. Python doesn't have built-in constant types, but Python programmers use all capital letters to indicate a variable should be treated as a constant and never be changed. For example, let's try the number pi. You put it as a capital letters and give the value. If you want to print the pi, it's natural your program getting more complex. And one good resource used by us, by programmers, it's inserting comments in our programs. In case of Python, if you want to create comments, you need to use the hash key, and you can write free text after it. It's common you create some comments to explain pieces of your code or the logic that you are creating on your program. Because it's a comment, Python will ignore and will run your program starting on the line 3. Let's summarize what we have done until now. What we have learned. First, we have set up our Python environment. We have learned how to implement one Hello World program, executing using the Sublime or the IDE and the command line. We have worked using the variables types on Python. In this case, strings and numbers, integer and float. We have used some methods, string methods and f strings, title method, upper, lower, and print. In our next lessons, we will learn about the lists. Not only the definition, but the operations that we will use. Thanks for watching this video. Please Don't forget to like and don't forget to subscribe. See you on the next lesson. Bye!